This is going to be an important lecture where I will discuss on the topic nucleophilic substitution reaction, concentrating on SN1 and SN2, and at the end I will show you the difference between transition state and intermediate, and the term important I have used because I will give a theoretical support of the properties which I will claim in the lecture regarding transition state and intermediate. So stay with me. Now firstly, this nucleophilic substitution reaction, it is like you have an alkyl halide, so this may be the leaving group, and you have a nucleophile. Nucleophile is a species having a lone pair. Now it may be neutral, it may be negatively charged, and even it may be positive. For simplicity we are considering it as to be a negatively charged species. Now it will react to give the product like this. So from the reaction it is evident that we have a substitution here which is conducted by this nucleophile. So nucleophile substitutes this X by this X, and this X departs the molecule in the form of leaving group. So we have a substitution reaction, and since the attacking reagent is a nucleophile, it is nucleophilic substitution. Now the two major varieties of nucleophilic substitution is one is SN1 and another is SN2. This nucleophilic substitution is symbolized as SN, S for substitution and N for nucleophile. Now it can be divided into two broad categories. Also there are other types, but we will focus on these two major categories. Now first let us discuss with SN1. So this will be the reaction like So we see here that we have started with tertiary butyl iodide, that is 2-methyl-2-iodopropane, and we have treated it with aqueous KOH, that is an aqueous base, and here a substitution reaction has occurred, OH minus has replaced I minus, so we have tertiary butanol at the end. Now when we study the kinetics of this reaction, we get this one. So the rate of the reaction is first order with respect to this tertiary butyl iodide and zero order with respect to OH minus. Hence, the overall order of the reaction is first order. Hence, the name is coming here, that substitution nucleophilic unimolecular. Then, what is the mechanism that makes this order of the reaction with respect to this reagent OH minus to be 0. So we have to search the mechanism. Now the mechanism that was proposed against this reaction is, the mechanism consists of 2 steps. Now step 1, it is the rate determining step. That is the slow step, and in this rate determining step, this iodide have to dissociate of its own. No one is going to help this molecule. Now it will obviously pass through a transition state. See, the bond is breaking, so after the completion of this step it will be I minus, and here we will have a 3 degree carbocation. So what will be the missing link, be the link between this reactant and the intermediate we have? That is, the bond dissociates, but we are going to have the link between the intermediate, that is after dissociation and before dissociation. So that could be like this, that is the bond is getting detached and it is given in dotted line. So here we will have a negative charge, partial negative charge, which is forming gradually, and here we will have a partial positive charge which is also forming gradually, and after the completion of this process, that is after the complete detachment of this leaving group, we will have a complete negative charge here and complete positive charge here. So this is the prescribed transition state. Now what will be the intermediate? It will be like this. Now this has a structure. It is obviously with a planar structure having a vacant pz orbital. So here will be plus. Now see, we have 3 plus I effect here and 9 alpha hydrogens. So 9 hyperconjugation and 3 plus I effect will diminish this positive charge on this carbon atom and on this carbocation, and this will be stabilized. So it is 3 degree carbocation and it is comparatively stable among other carbocations. Now in the second step, what will happen? This 3 degree carbocation will be attacked by this nucleophile or solvent. Solvent molecules can also attack here, and we will again experience a transition state. Here it is the attachment process. Since there are 2 transition states, we are referring it as 1 and it is as 2, and then gradually it will lead to the formation of the product, that is tertiary butanol. Now this is the first step. So this is reactant, this is transition state 1, this is the intermediate, we have only one intermediate here, this is transition state 2, and this is the product. So the scheme is ready before you. Now if we try to understand the energy profile of this diagram to have an explanation of this reaction rate, it will look like this. So here we will have the tertiary butyl iodide, and after passing through transition state 1, it will give us the intermediate, that is the 3 degree carbocation. It will again pass through the transition state 2 in step 2 to give us the product, that is the tertiary butanol. Now here is the energy axis. Now you see the first step is the step which is associated with a large activation energy, and here only this molecule is participating. So it will have contribution in the barrier crossing phenomena, and in the kinetics we will get order 1 with respect to this molecule. But OH minus, it is appearing in the first step. Since this barrier is small, the step is very fast, and the thermal energy present in the system is more than sufficient for this barrier. So the rate will be very fast, and there will be no contribution of this OH minus. So it will be a overall of first order reaction. So you see, this is the reactant with a parabolic potential, intermediate also with a parabolic potential, and product also with a parabolic potential. Now here is the difference. You see the transition states have also parabolic potential, but they are with inverse parabolic potential. You see the similarities. This reactant, product and intermediate all are with the parabolic potentials, but these transition states, both 1 and 2, are with the inverse parabolic potential. That is, here it is like this and here it is like this. It is inverse. Now, you have already heard of the tale that one cannot capture transition state, but intermediate can be captured. So reactant and product are feasible, no problem with that. We can have reactant in bottles, we can have product in bottles. They may be commercially available, so they are stable. And intermediate is however unstable. So you need sophisticated techniques, approaches to capture it. But you will be able to capture it. That means it has real existence. But till date, no one has ever been able to isolate any transition state. Till date. So it may be claimed that so many reactions has happened, so many reactions has been discovered, but till date no one has been able to explore transition state. So it may be claimed that transition state is hypothetical, but intermediate is real. And regarding trapping or scavenging, means you can capture it and put it in a bottle. Transition state, you cannot scavenge it. And this one, intermediate, you can scavenge it. So intermediate is also a real species like reactant and product. The difference is that it has a higher energy, so it is unstable. You see the energy axis. Now we come to SN2 reaction. Here the reaction is like CH3I arrow this one. So this substitution reaction is carried out by taking methyl iodide as the reactant and aqueous KOH, aqueous acetone actually, KOH dissolved in aqueous acetone. It is behaving like it is behaving as the reagent, and it is giving us methanol through substitution nucleophilic bimolecular process. Now it is bimolecular since upon study of kinetics it is obtained that the rate is first order with respect to methyl iodide and also first order with respect to this OH minus. So the overall order of the reaction is to 2. Now see, there are 2 reactants and we have the order 2. So here is a possibility of getting the reaction to occur in a single step. If we find order equal to molecularity, reaction may be multi-step or may be elementary. But it was proposed and it is found experimentally that the reaction is not multi-step, since if the reaction is multi-step there must have been some intermediate, but no one has ever succeeded to capture the intermediate in the plausible mechanisms, and the scope for multi-step process has been neglected, and this mechanism is accepted that it is elementary reaction, and the reaction occurs like this and occurs through this path. You see, OH minus is attacking in the back side. What for? Now we have a carbon atom here, orbital, atomic orbital of carbon, and here you see atomic orbital of iodine. Now when they form the molecule, we will have a bonding molecular orbital, sigma, which is this one. You are observing it, and carbon is contributing 1 electron, iodine is contributing 1 electron, so we have 2 electrons in total. So we get the bonding molecular orbital to be filled up, but the anti-bonding is vacant. So it is the lowest unoccupied molecular orbital. Now we know the anti-bonding remain opposite to that of the bonding, and since iodine is electronegative, the anti-bonding will be rich in the carbon character. So the electrophilic center lies upon this one, so the LUMO will be associated with carbon character and OH minus will attack on this electrophilic center through backside, since anti-bonding molecular orbital is opposite to that of the bonding molecular orbital in orientation. Now when this OH minus attacks here, it places its lone pair in this vacant orbital. Now we have the bond order before attack to be half into number of electrons present in the bonding molecular orbital, that is 2, minus number of electrons present in the anti-bonding molecular orbital, that is 0. So we have bond order to be 1.0. That we are observing here, that only one bond is present between carbon and iodine. But when this OH minus places this lone pair here, we will get this 2 here and it will be 0.0. So there will be no bond. So then what will happen? It will break. So when this OH minus attacks backside at an angle of 180 degree opposite to that of this bond, then I minus leaves the system. Now we have a transition state here. See this, it is the detachment of this leaving group and it is the attachment of this nucleophile. So it is a trigonal bipyramidal structure. See, this H is below the plane, this H is above the plane, this is on the plane, and this OH and I is on the plane. So we have a trigonal bipyramidal structure, that is the pentavalent carbon. Now to have such structure, hybridization must be sp3d. This hybridization can only give such pentavalent state. But we know that carbon is devoid of d orbital, since it is the valence shell is 2s2 2p2 for the ground state carbon atom. Hence we can claim that this is the hypothetical structure. It is only being put forwarded to explain the reaction course and to have a link between the reactant and the product, or reactant and the intermediate. Now when this detachment procedure and attachment procedure completes, we will have a inversion. Here it will be not noticed since it has no chiral center, and we will have methanol and this leaving group here. So if we study this energy profile diagram for this reaction, we will see there will be a single barrier and no intermediate, and single barrier means only one transition state. So how it will look like? This one to be reactant, that is here it is CH3I, and also OH minus will participate here since only one step is available for the reaction to complete. Here it will be TS, the transition state, which I have shown you just now, and here we will have the product CH3OH plus I minus. Now this barrier crossing phenomena is to be contributed by both the reactants. So it is first order with respect to methyl iodide and first order with respect to OH minus. So it is a second order reaction. It is a nucleophilic substitution second order reaction. So here we will have only one TS. Here you see this is a parabolic potential for the reactants, this is a parabolic potential for the products, but for the transition state it is inverse parabolic potential. Now which factor can make SN1 or SN2 feasible? So a comparison is required. Now for SN1 reaction to happen, this mechanism will proceed through a carbocation. So more the stability of the carbocation, more will be the probability of this element of this reaction to occur. So we will get a reaction order, reactivity order like this: 3 degree halide, alkyl halide greater than 2 degree alkyl halide greater than 1 degree alkyl halide. So it will give 3 degree carbocation, it will be stable. So the energy of the intermediate will drop and the rate will be faster. Now for SN2 reaction to occur, this electronic contribution is not required, that is the plus I effect or the hyperconjugation. Here it is, since the attack is backside attack, it requires less sterically hindered electrophilic centers. So here it will be, it is controlled by the steric factor. So the rate of the reaction will be 1 degree greater than 2 degree greater than 3 degree. So CH3I greater than CH3 whole twice CHI, and like this. So for SN1 we will have this pattern, for SN2 we will have this pattern. This is the reactivity order. Now, can solvent guide the rates? You need to stabilize this carbocation and the leaving group. So, a solvent with a high dielectric constant is required to stabilize this carbocation. So, that should be polar protic. It must be both polar and protic, like H2O. Now here no carbocation is formed, only partial positive and negative charges play in the mechanism. So it will be facilitated by solvents like polar aprotic solvents. Hence aqueous acetone is taken as the solvent here and aqueous KOH is taken here. Now, what will be the nature of the nucleophile? Here, weak nucleophile may work, since carbocation generates by itself, and then strong nucleophile can also attack, weak nucleophile can also attack to give the desired product. But since this attack is the trigger for this reaction, we need a strong nucleophile here. So this is all about the nucleophilic substitution reaction. Now we come to the concept of the transition state and the intermediate. I have told you just now that transition state cannot be scavenged, that is, cannot be trapped. It is a hypothetical structure. And intermediate, it can be trapped. It has spectroscopic evidence. You can scavenge it. So now it's our turn to give a theoretical support to this claim that we cannot, it is hypothetical, we cannot trap it, and it is not hypothetical, it is real, we can trap it. Since we have noticed that all these are associated with a parabolic potential, we write the expression for the parabolic potential, which is V equal to half kx square, which is the potential of the harmonic oscillator, and is characterized with the frequency nu equals to 1 by 2 pi root over k by mu. Now this k is the force constant of the bond, x is the displacement, so that gives the potential energy, and this is the frequency of the oscillation that is associated with the bond, and this k is the force constant as before, and mu is the reduced mass. Now we have k by mu root over equals to 2 pi nu, or k by mu equal to 4 pi square nu square, or k equals to 4 pi square mu nu square, equal to some constant, say the constant is c into nu square. So this is the definition of the force constant. Force constant is related to the frequency as k equals to constant into nu square. Now let us find the slope. So that is given by dv dx. So it will be ddx of half kx square, half and k comes out, and it will be ddx of x square. Now it will be 2x, so it is kx. So this gives us the slope of the potential. Now we intend to have the curvature of the potential. Curvature. So curvature is the double derivative of the potential with respect to displacement. So that is d2 dx2 of v. It is d dx of slope. So we put kx here. So you get k equals to c into nu square. C is the constant. We put this value here. So we get nu square equal to 1 by c equals d2v dx2, or nu equals to 1 by root c. We put it as another constant c prime into root over d2v dx2. So this is the relation of the frequency with the curvature of a parabolic potential. Now let us study our plane. So we have two categories in reaction mechanism. One is with the real part, that is reactants, it is real, products, it is real, and intermediate, it is also real. It is also real. So all these three are available, and they can be, intermediate is also real, it can be scavenged, it can be trapped. Now all these three are characterized by the parabolic potential, which looks like this one. I have shown you that this is the reactant, this is the product, and this is the intermediate. So you see, for reactant, intermediate, and product, the parabolic potential looks like this. Now, starting from this point, if we approach in the right direction, say we come from here to here. So what we will have? We will have dx equal to positive, since displacement increases in this direction. Now what do we see? You see the potential is also increasing. When we move rightward, the potential also increases. So we have dv equal to positive for dx equal to positive. So what will be the slope? It will be dv dx equal to positive. Now the corresponding curvature will be, since dx is positive, we have d2v dx2 equal to ddx of dv dx, all are positive, so it is positive. Now we put this value here. Now since there is positive value within the square root, it will give, the frequency will give real roots. Now the frequency of the bonds are real. Frequency is real means the bonds present here are real, and it indicates that the species are also real and they can be trapped or scavenged. But if we consider the transition state, that is here TS1, TS2, we see the potential looks like this, inverse potential. Now if we start from here and we move from here to here, we see for dx equal to positive, that is we go here in this direction, we have the potential to drop. So dv equal to negative. Then what will be the slope? dv dx equal to negative. Now What will be the curvature? It is negative, since dx is positive. So curvature negative for the transition states and the curvature is positive for the reactant, product and the intermediate. So we must change the heading here as transition state, since we are studying transition state. Now when you put this curvature here, so we get implies nu equal to constant into root over negative of something. So that is imaginary, undefined. So the transition state is associated with bonds or vibrational modes which have undefined or imaginary frequency. So this is a proof that this is a theoretical support that transition state is hypothetical, they are not real, and hence it cannot be, they cannot be accessed, they cannot be scavenged. So this gives a theoretical support to the experimental observation. That is all about transition state and intermediate.